everybody, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new. I am so psyched to have you here. I hope you're having a great day, week, month. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and hit the notification bell if you would not mind. That would make my day. What I want to talk about to you today is some stuff that I do actually have on my mind and I feel like is important for us right now. So I know a lot of you guys are new and you don't really know me. And I know a lot of you guys are American and you've seen what's been going on in the last week or so. It's been really rough on both sides of the political aisle, and just in general, it's been a little bit of a whirlwind. And so I feel like this has been on my mind and it could be on your mind. So when I see things that are like really tumultuous, especially in our government, I feel like it drives me to this point of like, well, whoa, what am I doing? And am I secure? So I want to feel secure even if the things around me are not feeling very secure. And I know that's like a little heavy of a thought, but I also know that that's what's on our minds right now. Let's not ignore that, and let's not pretend like the things that aren't great aren't happening, because that's not a good, healthy mindset, and I'm trying to learn that for my own self. But I first want to start off with telling you about, how I make money. So I feel like when these things happen, I'm like, okay, well, how can I make sure I'm secure? Security, money, like those go hand in hand. Finances help you to be secure. We actually are all but debt free. And I feel like that has caused us to feel so much more grounded in these very weird times that we live in. We don't worry the way we worried before. And that's a lot of freedom in that. And I know you guys want that too. I know a lot of you guys who watch my channel are here for my tiny house because it's paid off. You're here because the homestead and you can make money off of it. But I do want to share with you guys some other ways that I make money as a person who doesn't have a 9-to-5 job. And if you are in that position for whatever reason, we've chose this lifestyle, my husband and I, for him to be the main breadwinner and for me to be a stay-at-home wife. But I know that there are lots of reasons why people don't have 9-to-5 jobs. It could be that you are disabled. It could be that you're living on Social Security. It could be all kinds of things. Or maybe you work from home on like a really off schedule, So I just wanted to share with you a little bit about, why did we decide that I wouldn't work first, and then I'll get into, if you want to skip forward a little bit, into what I actually do to make money. I was raised lower middle class, as my husband was raised lower middle class, maybe middle class. But we also come from big families, and so there wasn't a whole lot to go around. So, but we always had everything we needed, and we lived great lives. We both had really, really close-knit families, and so when we met each other, we didn't have these, grand expectations of how we would live or how our lives had to look, because we were used to humble beginnings, and that's fine. And I feel like it definitely has benefited us in the long run, especially as I've seen both my family and his family really grow and become this, they've gained wealth and they've have assets now that we didn't have when we were young. And so it's really nice to see. But I also didn't go to college, and neither did my husband. So we didn't come from means, and we don't have any kind of educational background. And yet we are 33 and 35, and we are essentially debt free. And I say essentially because I want to preface that we do pay for our property. So our property we bought with my parents and my brother. So my husband is an owner, my dad is an owner, and my brother is an owner. So all three parties have to have their portion paid off for us to be debt free. We have a short loan, and it is also a very inexpensive loan. I don't pay any more than $300 a month. So that is my one bill. And I do want to say that so that you know that, or so you wouldn't think that I'm being hypocritical, okay? So if it was up to us, we would probably be very debt-free at this point, or probably very close to debt-free. But since everybody's paying on it, it doesn't make that much sense for us to have paid off our whole chunk, because it still will be not technically debt-free, if that makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, you can comment down below and I'll try to re-explain it. Maybe in another video or in the comments. But so that's who we are as people. We are humble people. We are uneducated people for the most part. But my husband is very smart. I feel like I'm decent, but he's super smart. And he is a hard worker. He has excelled at every single job he's ever had. And he works his way up in each company, and he's got a very charismatic personality. He's wonderful. I'm very blessed and fortunate to have a great husband who is a great provider and a great worker for the people that he works for. So that is also something that I like to preface, is that while yes, homestead, it does not make me any money. I make money off of eggs, and I am able to feed myself via my garden. Most of my produce has actually come out of my garden this year. I'm hoping to be completely garden produced in the next couple of years. We've lived here for 2 years, and this is our first year doing a big raised garden, and I was so excited because it, to me, has been a success. And while there are things that have failed in there, I still feel really good about it. But I also raise my own meat. So we've raised pigs. We're raising turkeys currently right now for the holidays. And so if you don't like that, I'm really sorry. That is just what it is. We are working towards being a regenerative homestead here. And I feel like that is way more responsible than people who get their food from the grocery store. And that is not a judgment call. I just feel like it is. It is. I feel like that is a factual thing, is we're more responsible when we're able to steward the land. So, you can judge me in the comments if you want. No problem. It's going to hurt my feelings, but I'll get over it. So that is how we live and how we wound up here and all of that good stuff. So let's get into the things that I actually do to make money. So I do feel like it is important that while I do take care of the household, I do take care of the homesteading, that I also bring in as much as I can for finances without it interfering with that other work that I do that I feel is very important and my husband feels is very important. So the first thing that I do is I have a cleaning side job. So I have like a very, very part-time job. I work 10 hours a week. 2 days a week usually. Sometimes I split that into 3 if I need to be there for an event or something. I clean a church building. So it is a large building with an upstairs and a downstairs and 2 portable buildings. And so it is physical labor. It is super hot in the summers. It is cold in the winter where we live. And I do most of it without trying to touch the AC, just so I'm not costing any electricity there. But I do turn it on when necessary, so, it's okay. Don't worry, I'm not, killing myself over it. But it is physical labor. Cleaning is hard work. You're on your hands and knees sometimes. You're dealing with gross, used public toilets, and lots of mud tracking when it rains, lots of dust when it's dry outside. So if you are able to, a cleaning business is a great way to make extra money. I get paid a monthly stipend, and that pays for my groceries. It pays for my gas. I use it to pay for if I have any kind of medical procedure that I need to have done. So I do deal with a little bit of medical stuff. I had a gastric bypass over a year ago, and that has come with definitely some more doctor's visits and taking care of my health, as I did lose 150 pounds in a year, which is actually kind of hard on your body. We can get into that in another video. Comment down below if you'd like to know about that. But yes, so I use that to pay for that. And then if there's any kind of birthdays or at Christmas time, I usually use my extra money for that as well. So that monthly payment pays for groceries, gas, doctors, and presents. That's pretty much what I do. If I have anything left over, which sometimes I do, I roll that over into savings or I cash it out and put it into my little piggy bank. So that is one way that you can make money if you're physically able to. And I will say that I have done in the past an actual business. This I'm just contracted out to do. But I had a business where I had multiple clients, and it's very, very simple to do so. You need to have like a PayPal account or something like that, so that you can take money, or if you're doing it all cash, that's fine too. Follow the laws, do, what you need to do. Don't take any contracts where, like, if you need to have insurance, like, don't say you're insured if you're not insured, because I know people do that, but that's very not cool, and you'll get yourself in trouble. You'll need to have transportation, and you'll need to be comfortable talking with people in the public. So if you're able to do all of those things and maybe a little bit of Facebook advertising, you can start your own cleaning business. And I feel like this is really great for like people who have children and need to be working within a certain set of hours, like while the kids are at school, things like that. I feel like this is a really great way if you're able to do that. The second way that I make money is actually my favorite way. It's the funnest way, but it's also the one that I do the least of. But you could definitely be way more of a go-getter than I am and turn this into a fully fledged business. So I am an artist, so I do acrylic painting mostly, some mixed media. This has glitter, things like that. And I have kind of a whimsical art style, very like colorful and fresh and fun. This is what I like to do on my own time anyways, so I would be doing this no matter what. But I was able to turn just this very simple skill that I had into a paint party business. So my paint party business is called Lacey's Paint Party. I actually have a YouTube channel on another YouTube channel called Lacey's Paint Parties. And I've only posted like 2 things, but I need to work on it, okay? I need to work on it. But I post videos there. If you're interested, you can go and watch those. But I have more of an online business because I do everything like kind of by word of mouth. I work with the library to get business, and people find out about me, and then they call me. And they say, hey, can you do a paint party for X amount of people? And I say, oh, sure, or no, if it's like a really big group. So I can do about 35 people at a time because that's how many easels I have. It did cost me money to get started. I think I spent $700 to buy all of the easels, all of the canvases, all of the paint brushes, and all of the paint to get me started. And now what I do is I go and buy individual packs of all of those things instead of like big bulk packs as I begin to get lower. So it's not as heavy of a cost as it was at first. But $700 and a little bit of skill and patience. I will say that is the most important thing if you're thinking about doing something like this, is to be patient with people. And what's that saying? Those who can't do, teach. Well, if you can't teach, don't do it. Okay? Because there's nothing worse than somebody who you're trying to learn from and they're not a good teacher. So know yourself, be self-aware, but if you can, this is a great way to make money. I make between $3,000 and about $1,000 per party. So if I have a 35-person party, it's probably going to be that $1,000. If I have maybe a 20-person party, I might go as low as $250 to be really nice. But that would be if it was like for a church or something. Because I do try to be charitable for churches and YMCAs and libraries and things like that. And I have done free events as well. So that's an option if you're just out to have fun. But these are the kind of things that I teach people how to paint. They're very simple, guys. Like, these are like things that you would find on windows at like businesses. And I actually thought about turning this into also offering window painting. So there you go. It's just really, really simple stuff. A lot of it is holiday themed, so I get a lot of business at Christmas time and Valentine's Day. Like I said, I do this the least, so I probably get like a paint party a month. But I could definitely do more than that. but that's just what I want to do in this current season of my life. But this is a great option. And if you have some other kind of skill and you can apply it to this party type of business, I would suggest to do it. I know people who own moon bounces and they do those for parties, but that is like a foolproof way to make money because there's always birthdays. There's always company events. That's where I actually do a lot of Christmas events for companies. I do Valentine's for companies, and they hire me to do like morale boosting or like, what is it called when it's like team building exercises, that kind of thing, or employee appreciation, that kind of stuff. And you can market really, really well, again, on Facebook, on Instagram, online. But if you put flyers out in the libraries, if you work with the libraries, you do a couple of free events, people will begin to see you. They'll start to gain you'll start to gain recognition. In fact, I was able to paint ornaments for someone for Christmas last year, and I was able to sell each ornament to them, completely hand painted by an actual person. And I feel like that was probably one of my favorite things that this was able to allow me to do. So consider if you have any kind of a skill, like maybe it's knitting or crocheting or sewing, or I don't know, maybe you're a really good gamer, that you can actually turn this into a party business. Just consider that, and it might be a good fit for you. And the last way that I make money is right here on YouTube. Guys, I am monetized, which is so exciting. I cannot believe it. And I definitely want to say thank you to everybody who watches these videos and everybody who has been so supportive and kind. The amazing comments that I have gotten and received have heavily outweighed the drop in the bucket of people who are ugly online. And I'm actually so surprised and so excited to be here. But if you guys want to start a YouTube channel, this is not crazy hard. It's just me, and I'm talking, and my phone is on a stand. And I take you along with me, and I show you what I do, and I do just a little bit of editing. I'm not an amazing filmmaker, video maker, but I hope to get better over time. And it's all about just kind of being vulnerable and having enough courage to pick up the phone and talk to yourself for a little while until you're talking with the people. I talk to myself on my videos for 2 years, almost 2 years. I made a couple of friends, and that's been amazing. They're actually still my friends. But for 2 years, I talked to myself through this screen, and I would get like 37 views. And out of nowhere, you guys liked this tiny house that I've showed off 100 times probably. But for some reason, you guys just love it. And that's super exciting to me. And it helps me feel like, okay, well, now I know what people are interested in. Now I know what you guys want to see. Now I know what to tell you about. And what's cool is it's all the stuff that I like. So it's super fun. Like, I love my garden. I love my homestead. I love my house. And it's fun that you guys enjoy it too, and that we can share it. But I want to encourage you that you can do this too. Being debt free is not as hard as it seems. Making money is not as hard as we make it. Having freedom is not as hard as we've made it. Being fearless is not as hard as we've made it. And a lot of those things are intertwined, right? So being fearless and being vulnerable and having freedom, those all go hand in hand. And if you'll just apply a few things and have a little bit of like entrepreneurial kind of spirit, you can definitely make money without being laden and tied down to some 9-to-5 job that is no fun. I make anywhere from like $1,200 like on a really slow month, all the way through all of these 3 things that I do, by the way. I'm not just saying like I haven't made that much off YouTube, but maybe one day, wouldn't that be amazing? But yeah, so on like a slow month, I'm gonna make $1,200. On a not slow month, I can make $3,000, $4,000 by doing all of these side jobs. And that's really by working about 3 days a week, 3 full days a week, because by the time I edit and by the time I get done filming and by the time I get done with doing my 2 days of work, and then by the time I do a party, you know, that's something that I can actually turn into a lot of income in no time. So if something did happen to my husband, or if something, you know, God forbid, would be like turning my life upside down, I'm still going to stay afloat because I have this to back me up. And I feel like that's very important. Like I said, the times we're living in are pretty intense for all of us. And so we do need to have some backup plans. And while I one day would love for my homestead to be my source of income, this will work in the meantime. But guys, I just want to thank you for staying and watching this video. I hope that you found it interesting. Comment down below ways that you make money so that other people can see it and so that we can all kind of learn from each other. I feel like it's really, really important for us to be supportive to each other right now. This world, we need to have some sort of, you know, support system, some sort of people who are back in our corner. So commenting down below and talking with one another is a way that we can do that. And it's a way to kind of fight the man, you know, fight the power. Be one, unify. All right, friends, I hope to see you in the next video. But until then, peace.